But of Not Bitter Talk, and yes, I am your host, Todd Huff. You can always reach me by email, todd@toddhuffshow.com, facebook.com/Todd Huff Show for those that want to watch the program live or on demand. Actually, watch it on our website. Who knows what Facebook will do if they'll take us down. But we're on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope as well. If you're watching there, good morning. If you are listening on the radio on Freedom 95, it is a pleasure to be here no matter where you are watching or listening to this program. It's good to be here. So last night was the third and final debate before the 2020 election. Folks, we're down to about, 10 days or so? 10 days or so to Election Day. And, a couple of initial thoughts about last night's debate. Number one, Trump had made a decision that the American people were going to hear about Hunter Biden. They were going to hear about his laptop. They were going to hear about the corruption in the Biden administration. They were going to be reminded that all the things that Biden said he was going to fix in American society, I guess, in our government, the way that it works, all these utopian promises. Remember, Biden, by the way, has promised to cure cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and last night we learned that he's also going to get COVID taken care of pretty immediately as well. Also going to repeal the Trump tax cuts. And, I think he made a fatal flaw, a very serious flaw with his comments about making a transition from big oil. He's said this before. But you look at states like Pennsylvania, Ohio, potentially Ohio. But Pennsylvania is a big state as far as this election is concerned. It's one of those states that Democrats, on paper, the Democrats should win Pennsylvania. And so you look at the role of oil in at least part of that state, and you see a candidate that's out there saying that he is going to effectively do away with it, right? We're going to be moving away from it. Or if you see candidates talking about moving away from big coal, this is why Joe Manchin's vote as a senator in West Virginia is always so fascinating, because they are West Virginia, of course, is a big coal state, and the Democrats have done all they can to make coal one of their number one enemies, and so this hurts them. Now, it doesn't seem to hurt Democrat senators from getting elected in that state, but when it comes to the presidential candidates, Hillary has hurt herself there, and of course, Trump does incredibly well there. So. And Biden not as well. That doesn't do well there as well. So anyway, Biden's comments last night about big oil. I've got a soundbite, a montage of clips from Biden talking about fracking, which fracking is a big thing. Fracking is a big thing in certain states in this country. Fracking has been very helpful to energy prices whenever oil starts to really creep up in cost. Fracking is something that combats that, because there's there's better ways when oil gets to those prices to get energy out of the ground. And so anyway, fracking is an enemy of Biden as well. And we've got the sound bites to prove it. He doesn't want to admit that, because, again, politics is the art of trying to convince people you're for something that's important to them, when really most of these politicians don't care one way or the other. What they're trying to do is either get into office or remain in office. But I think as this went as a debate, this was of course, there were only two to choose from, since we didn't have the third one, because, they just didn't want to put Biden in this position. Biden has been protected for a while. And that's what they want to do. They want to keep the guy in the basement. They don't want him to be the face of, they really just want your anger, maybe not your anger, but other Americans' anger towards Trump to be the factor in this election that makes them cast their vote for Biden. They don't want Biden to have to make his case. They want to simply drive the American voter into such a hatred for Trump, such a fear of Trump, that they get them to cast a ballot for Joe Biden instead. So they hide him in the basement and they try to demonize and attack Trump. This is clearly the strategy. But this debate did not allow that. Trump, I thought, did a good job. He gave Biden space this time to answer his questions. I would say Biden's primetime performances that people actually watch, which include this debate and the first one, Biden had moments when I thought he was about to really begin to unravel. You could tell that he was struggling the more that this went on. He didn't have any incredibly terrible moment that was obvious to all people. I think the comment about transitioning from oil in this country, I think that is something that is going to potentially hurt him with some undecideds. We shall see. But it definitely was obvious that he was struggling, in my estimation. Now, they'll probably say he was just having a stuttering problem, but it was much. I think it was more than that. I think he was just having, whether he was tired, whether there's something else that's going on. I know there's a lot of speculation about that, and there's a lot of concern about that. These are, I think, fair questions, and it's, again, I take no joy in this. I pleasure in this and saying this, but they're, cognitively, there are questions that need to be, I think, asked, and they've gotten to this point without having to address them really. But I do think that they were somewhat obvious last night in the debate. I also thought that as the debates go, that this was run better than most. However, it was, in a lot of ways, the moderator, I think, did a good job, but my wife and I, we commented. It was funny every single time. I think the most repeated line of the night was something to this effect. Mr. Vice President, would you like to respond to that? I noticed that after every issue, Trump would try to get the last word in. And of course he would, because she couldn't stop him. But as soon as he finished, she would ask, Mr. Vice President, would you like to respond? And so, it was almost to the point where it made me laugh. You got to be kidding me. Does she realize she's doing this, or is this just her implicit bias, to use a term the left likes to say against conservatives and so forth? Anyhow, but I think it was good. Trump did much better. He was also aggressive. He made sure that people, again, heard about the Biden laptop, the corruption, how long Joe Biden has been in Washington, D.C. Why hasn't why haven't you fixed these things? It's amazing to me, Trump would say, it's amazing to me that this guy gets up here, talks about all these things he's going to do. Why? Why didn't he do it for 47 years? Why not? He was vice president for 8 years. There were a couple of times Biden, in his response to Trump's comments, he would say, well, I was just vice president. Okay, well, are you now saying that are you agreeing with me that you should have done more and the Obama administration did not let you do that? Is that what you're now insinuating, former Vice President Joe Biden? Is that what you're saying here? That's almost what it sounded like. Now, Biden would never say that. He did say it indirectly, but he would never say it directly because, of course, it is the Biden-Obama administration. Biden and Obama are best buddies and all this sort of stuff. That's what we're supposed to believe. This is the sort of thing that's supposed to help him secure the Obama voter back from 2008, 2012, and those that love Barack and Michelle Obama. That's what this is designed to do. course, my question was, why was Barack Obama one of the very last Democrats to come out and publicly endorse Joe Biden, even after, I'll point this out, this is true, by the way. I've had people say it to me on, social media. Well, it is historical precedent that the former president not get involved in the primary process, choosing his or her replacement, because they want the primary process to run its course without interfering and all this sort of stuff. Okay, fine. But why wait until not only the last Democrat opponent of Biden drops out? So now there's nobody left. It was just Biden. Sanders had dropped out. No one else in the field. Barack Obama did not endorse, even at that point, for several days. Then Sanders, who had dropped out, comes in and endorses Biden. And after that, a couple days later, then Obama endorses Biden. Does that make sense to you? But the point is, look, is that none of these things are what we're supposed to believe that they are. None of these things are true. This is largely smoke and mirrors. And that's why debates, if done properly, which, again, what we witness really are not debates. It is a presentation of sound bites. We don't get, how can you get it? You have 30 seconds to respond, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President. 30 seconds for this, 2 minutes for that, 1 minute for this. Come on. We're talking about complex, fundamentally important concepts and ideas and principles and ideological issues. You got 60 seconds. Of course you got to use sound bites. But again, given the rules and the reality of what this was, I thought Trump did it very well. He was much more, what do I want to say? I don't want to say reserved, because Trump's never reserved, but he was much more willing to let Biden talk this time, which I think certainly helped him. He was also aggressive, and I don't think overly aggressive. I'm sure somebody out there thinks he was still too tough and still too hard on Joe Biden and that sort of thing. The other thing was, if anyone out there was playing the drinking game, which some people do this for things like this, if anyone was out there playing the drinking game and had to take a drink every time Biden said, "Come on, man," they would have been completely plastered about an hour into this thing last night. Biden, I don't know if they tell him this before. Also, if you would have had to drink every time Biden looked up to the sky and kind of sighed and rolled his eyes. Biden did a lot of that. I think that's, again, this is all coached stuff. When your opponent is talking, look up to the sky and just kind of roll your eyes. Make it sound like he's just completely making things up. Just, your body language has to communicate this. And use the word, "Come on, man." You know how Biden did when he confronted a Democrat primary voter, when he said, "Come on, fat." Remember that? "Come on, fat." And then the campaign tried to say, Biden said, "Come on, facts," which, normally I would say that doesn't make any sense. But for Joe Biden's comments, you think, well, maybe that does make sense. "Come on, facts." That's not a complete sentence or even anything really close to a complete thought. The campaign said that Biden was effectively saying that this individual need to consider the facts about what he was accusing Biden of. But that's not what he said. He said, "Come on, fat." Anyhow, so last night's debate, again, when it comes to ideas, when it comes to who was in control of that thing last night, it was clearly Donald J. Trump. When it came to who got, again, the kid glove treatment, anytime Trump pushed too hard on the Hunter Biden email situation, laptop situation, the moderator wouldn't let that go too far. She did ask a couple of general questions, but nothing too hard. She didn't press him too hard on answers or anything of the sort pertaining to that. But this was discussed, and Trump made sure of it. So again, the American people at least got to see that and hear that. But whether or not they still understand the level of possible corruption and just all-out bad things that have appeared to have been the case from Biden and the dealings with foreign governments and so forth. That whether the average person grips that or cares about that, people that are still undecided, which again, how can you be undecided at this point? That's beyond my ability to truly comprehend. If you follow this thing 5%, if you just pay a little tiny bit of attention, I don't know how you can be undecided, but they exist. And so last night, there's a couple things that I think could have moved them in Trump's favor, and I do hope that's the case. So that being said, I'll take a timeout. Want to get into maybe even playing some sound bites here as we get into the program, but it's a time to take a quick break. You are listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I should say to you that the views expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of our advertisers and sponsors, but of course they certainly should. Be back here in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit ToddHuffShow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
Ever wondered what shooting a real machine gun feels like? At Indie Trading Post, you can have an awesome and safe shooting experience in our family-friendly environment. Firing a weapon on full auto is something you will always remember. Schedule some range time today and let Indie Trading Post give you the real machine gun shooting experience. We guarantee you'll have a blast. Give us a call at 317-782-4867 or schedule your range time at fullautoindy.com.
Wallace Construction is a family-owned business with 45 years experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. At Wallace Construction, our wide variety of experience and top-notch customer service have helped us build a strong reputation in central Indiana. But we don't rest on that reputation. We build it, one job at a time. If you have an upcoming project, call us at 317-422-5356. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356, and ask for Richard or Roger.
Hi, this is Kenton with Christian Community Connect. We're a network of business professionals that are committed to living out our faith in the marketplace by preferring one another in love while serving everyone. With online listings at $27 per month, if you're a Christian in business, committed to treating others as you would want to be treated, we would love to include you. Check our reviews and sign up at ChristianCommunityConnect.com.
Corin Homes is expanding their 55-plus community. Briar Creek is the only senior manufactured home community in Indianapolis featuring Indiana-built homes. Floor plans and finishes starting at $75,000. Enjoy affordable, low-maintenance lifestyle with the charm of a residential neighborhood. Located minutes from I-465 in Fort Harrison State Park. Corin Homes, family-owned and operated since 1955. Check us out at COHRONhomes.com. Mention the Todd Huff Show and receive a $1,000 discount on your new home.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the health care they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
Hi, this is Caleb with Gluff Plumbing. Does your home need some plumbing updates? Gluff Plumbing is your solution. We specialize in updating old plumbing, everything from water heaters to well pumps, to underground leaks and everything that has to do with water entering and leaving the home, including water and sewer main excavations. We pride ourselves on old-fashioned customer service. Call Gluff Plumbing at 765-721-6789 or visit gluffplumbing.com. That's GLUFF plumbing.com. Call us today.
Did you know that there are 21,000 chimney fires annually? It's one of the reasons why it's so important to have a CSIA certified chimney technician clean and inspect your chimney every year. Keep your family safe by joining our 3-year sweep and inspection plan. And mention Todd to be entered to win $1,000 in cash. Contact Smalling Masonry, a Christian-owned business, at 317-903-8121 to learn more today.
Our sense of smell stimulates memory and emotion. A scent can seemingly transport us to another place in time. Homemade, hand-poured candles and melts from spur-of-the-moment creations will give your nose the experience the rest of your body is missing during any season of the year. Crackling firewood, fresh-cut grass, Macintosh apple, and even racing fuel are some of their over 200 engaging fragrances. Visit spurofthemomentcreations.com and enter coupon code TODD at checkout to receive 15% off your order today.
Welcome back. I want to start here. By playing a montage. This is something that Vice President Pence tweeted out recently. I don't know, earlier this week, maybe, I believe. I remember seeing it and retweeting it because there was this conversation as to whether or not Biden was for or against fracking. Fracking is... It's important. Fracking is where you use you inject liquids and so forth into the ground, high pressure, using high pressure technology, and you're boring into the ground at a certain angle, and it's forcing. You're able to pull oil out of the ground, oil, not just oil, but energy. Natural gas, I believe, can be done with as well, and it helps. It's a more efficient way of pulling energy out of the ground. And so, if, for example, a president says, or a presidential candidate says, that he or she wants to get rid of big oil, then by very definition, get rid of oil in general, transition away from fossil fuels, right? If you want to transition away from fossil fuels, you also want to transition away from fracking. Because if you're not allowed to get fossil fuels out of the ground using fracking, if you're not allowed to get fossil fuels out of the ground, then you therefore eliminate the need for fracking, because that's precisely what fracking does. Okay, so Biden was really, I think he made a very, very critical error last night in saying that he wanted to transition away from oil. People in oil-producing states, which, immediately places like Texas come to mind, but Western Pennsylvania, Ohio, Oklahoma, when you look at fracking, it's all the way up to the Dakotas. So these are states that means a lot to them. In fact, when these economies, remember, in the Obama economy, I should say, when the new normal was 1% GDP growth or whatever it was, that pathetic, anemic, awful economic situation we found ourselves in Barack Obama's economy, much like Jimmy Carter's economy from the late 1970s. That economy, one of the things that was holding that economy up was fracking. In fact, if you go back in your memory and you remember that there were a lot of really good jobs that were being created in the Dakotas. People were actually moving into those states and getting some really, really good, high-paying jobs because there was such a demand, and they were training people left and right. They were paying all sorts of, I think, bonuses and just different things, and giving people the opportunity to make a really good living at being involved in the fracking industry. So at one point, that was actually one of the catalysts for economic growth in spite of the Obama economy. So, but fracking, look, it's impossible to list all of the things that the radical left has made its enemy. But fracking is certainly on that list. And I want to play this. This is a 44-second soundbite. Now, I do want to say this. There are certain sound bites in here where they are specifically talking about banning fracking on public lands. That's what Biden said last night in the debate. I'm not against fracking. I'm against fracking on public lands. Okay, fair enough to a point. But folks, if you want to say, I want to migrate away from fossil fuels, I want to no longer have an energy, have America's energy be predicated upon the discovery, or not the discovery, but the pulling of fossil fuels from the ground. If I want to move from that, I don't want to see fossil fuels be the energy source for America. You are therefore saying you don't want fracking because there's nothing else left to frack if you can't frack for natural gas and oil. So as I play that, keep that in mind, because Biden may have just offended enough people in, say, Pennsylvania, which is down to, according to the Trafalgar Group, 1.1% was the latest lead Biden had in their poll, which was, I think, taken maybe late last week. That's how close this election is in Pennsylvania. So listen to this soundbite and just think about, to me, it wasn't necessarily a highlight exchange, but I think it may be something that gets negative reaction from voters. Here's this montage. Again, this was not from the debate, but this is a montage of sound bites that illustrates Biden's and Kamala Harris's hatred for and opposition to fossil fuels and, by extension, fracking. Here you go.
Any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated and no more subsidies for either one of those. I guarantee we're going to end fossil fuel. No new fracking.
And I'd gradually move away from fracking.
And I think it's critically important on day one that we end any fossil fuel leases on public lands.
What about, say, stopping fracking and stopping pipeline infrastructure?
They want to do the same thing I want to do. They want to phase out fossil fuels, and we're going to phase out fossil fuels.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
There's no question that Kamala Harris, in the Harris-Biden administration, I should add, there's no question that she is against fracking. She wants to eliminate fracking. Biden wants to eliminate fossil fuels. He's on record there. In fact, that very first question that was asked at a debate, a Democrat debate. And, Biden admitted there was no role for fracking in a Biden administration. No room for fracking. Now he wants to take that back. He's being inconsistent. But then again, look, it doesn't matter to many voters. Come on, man. Just say that. Look up at the sky, Joe. Roll your eyes. Put that big smile on your face as Trump's talking. Just try to make it look like the guy's making up stuff. We think that you can cruise through this debate with, those sorts of behaviors. We don't want you to have to actually engage in substantive debate, exchange of ideas, because candidly, that's when the wheels start to come off this thing. So, got to take a timeout. Come back here, continue our discussion of last night's debate. Final debate here in the final 10 days or so before Election Day. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I am your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Is it possible to be a fan of the show if you don't have the gear to prove it? Why not be safe and remove all doubt? Shop for official merchandise at ToddHuffShow.com/shop today.
Our partner, Global Plasma Solutions, has published ionization testing results that demonstrate a 99.4% reduction rate on a SARS-CoV-2 COVID-19 surface strain within 30 minutes. This is the first instance that an air purification company has effectively neutralized SARS-CoV-2. Commercial Service Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is installing this solution in businesses and homes in South Central Indiana. Get your free information kit at commercialservice.com/info. Commercial Service, commercial grade service for your home.
Does your business have a plan for social media marketing? Are you reaching the right audiences through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the list goes on? Are you learning from the data? Jarbo can help. Our team doesn't just come in and tell you how to be successful. We help you execute and measure your sales and marketing efforts. Give us a call at 317-834-6560 or visit us online at jarbomarketing.com. That's jarbomarketing.com. Make social media work for you.
There's a lot going on in the world today, and with so much going on, it's sometimes hard to maintain balance. Jesus said in John 16:33, "In this world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world." I'm Pastor Jeff Floyd of the Martinsville First Church of the Nazarene. To experience how life can be better with Jesus, come worship at M1 Church at 10 a.m. this Sunday, 1609 John R. Wooden Drive in Martinsville, or catch our live stream service on Facebook at M1 Church. For more information, visit m1nazarene.org. Have a great day today in Jesus.
Business leaders, are your employees satisfied with their jobs? Do they enjoy coming to work and feel valued? Workforce Chaplains can help. Locally owned, we work with organizations to provide holistic care to their employees. I'm Marcus Schrader, President of Workforce Chaplains, and we offer your team a 24/7 support system that positively affects your company's culture and productivity. With our personalized pricing and diverse support system, we handle the issues that you wish you had time for. To learn more, visit us at workforcechaplains.com.
Would you like to save 20% or more on your insurance? Let AIA and Avon do a free comparison for you. As an independent agent, we can find savings that fit your needs and budget. We work for you, not the insurance companies. Whether your insurance need is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com.
If you own a rental property, you know the hassles of marketing, renting, collecting, and the handling of maintenance and repairs. One call to Zuluscape can put an end to your property management headaches. Zuluscape has over 20 years of experience helping landlords throughout central Indiana and taking the stress out of owning a rental. From A to Z, let Zuluscape handle it all so you can enjoy owning a rental instead of hating being a landlord. Give us a call at 317-663-8485 or visit our website at Zuluscape.com.
As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you embrace the value of hard work, honesty, and integrity. And when you have the opportunity to work with a company that fully embraces and shares these values, I'm sure you jump at it. Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is just that type of company in central Indiana. Jeff and Jod Woods have a team of professional technicians here to help tune up your furnace or install a quality new train system. And they're also here to fix those nasty plumbing problems that seem to happen at the absolute worst time. So the next time you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling need, give the good folks at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing a call. Call 317-831-5279. That's 317-831-5279. Or visit economyheatingandair.com.
Welcome back. So, lots of exchanges last night. Adolf Hitler's name was invoked in the debate. So was Abraham Lincoln's. I don't know if you caught this last night. Biden, of course, accusing Trump of being racist. Because this whole, look, this was a replay of debate number one. This was a replay of debate number one, minus the yelling over one another and the interruptions and the name calling from Biden. You know, Biden called Trump names. Trump clearly interrupted more. Biden just called Trump names in the first debate. This was a redo. We didn't get into foreign policy as we were supposed to. Why did we not get too much into it? Trump made sure we got into it a little bit. But why did we not? Because it actually helps Trump and hurts Joe Biden. That's why. But there was a couple of exchanges. Of course, we had this This another long discussion of COVID. Trump reminding the American people that Biden said that closing the, instituting a travel ban with China during the early stages of the pandemic. Biden said that those actions were xenophobic and maybe even racist. So there had this exchange happened in the wake of that.
As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room.
Well, what do you say to Americans who are concerned by that rhetoric?
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I got criminal justice reform done and prison reform and opportunity zones. I took care of black colleges and universities. I don't know what to say. They can say anything. They can say anything. It makes me sad because I am the least racist person. I can't even see the audience because it's so dark. But I don't care who's in the audience. I'm the least racist person in this room.
Okay, Vice President Biden, let me ask you very quickly, and then I have a follow-up question for you.
Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history. He pours fuel on every single racist fire. Mm-hmm. Every single one. He started off his campaign coming down the escalator saying he's going to get rid of those Mexican rapists. He's banned Muslims because they're Muslims. He has moved around and made everything worse across the board. He says about the poor boys, last time we were on the stage here, he said, I told them to stand down and stand ready. Come on. This guy is a dog whistle about as big as a foghorn.
President Trump, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to respond, and then I have a follow-up.
He made a reference to Abraham Lincoln. Where did that come in?
You said you're Abraham Lincoln.
No, where did that? No. I said not since Abraham Lincoln has anybody done what I've done for the black community.
And I'm saying,
I didn't say I'm Abraham Lincoln. I said not since Abraham Lincoln has anybody done what I've done for the black community. Now,
that's exactly what he said. Joe Biden, part of me wonders if Joe Biden, when he said it, I thought that Joe Biden was trying to be funny. But then there's a part of me that's like, did he just, insert the wrong name here and call him Abraham Lincoln? I don't know. But this is the sort of stuff last night. Again, Hitler's name was invoked as well. But what these allegations against Trump, the allegations against Trump that say Trump is racist because he calls Mexicans rapists that come across the border illegally. If you go back, it's so patently absurd. If you go back and listen to the to what Trump said, he's clearly referencing people who are criminals coming across the border. He's pointing that out. He's pointing out that there are people with bad intentions, people with criminal histories, people who are members of gangs who come across our border illegally. Folks, that is undeniable. I mean, you can point to individual cases of Americans being killed by people who crossed this border illegally, who came into this country illegally. That is undeniable. He was not calling every single person who tried to cross that border a rapist or a murderer. What on earth? Who thinks like that? Again, they don't even think like that. They just want to get away with making the allegation. They want to make these allegations of racism stick. And that's what Trump's saying here. I'm the least racist person in this room, he says, which I love, by the way. Yeah, I'm the least racist person in this room. I have done more for the black community, Trump says, than any other president besides possibly Abraham Lincoln, who freed slaves. This is what Trump says. And he goes through and he points out some of the things he has done. He goes through and points out how he had to work with Democrats on these issues, prison reform. By the way, Joe, why didn't you and Obama do this? Biden said last night we didn't do it because we had a Republican Congress. No, you didn't, first of all. The first 2 years, you had complete control of all of both houses of Congress plus the White House. You could have gotten through whatever you wanted. This is, by the way, why we have Obamacare. Even though the death of Ted Kennedy and the election of Scott Brown created a problem that almost prevented that from happening. Nonetheless, they had control in the Senate. In fact, they had 60 senators, folks. Scott Brown's victory moved that number to 59 for Democrats back then. But Trump kept going back to that. What have you done for 47 years, Sleepy Joe? Joe kept saying, come on, come on, come on. That's basically what happened in the debate last night. And then Trump would go back and bring up Hunter's emails and corruption, and I've got some sound bites from that as well. But that being said, I got to take a time out. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I am your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Are you one of the growing number of Hoosiers who are concerned about higher taxes, increased spending, and massive debt? So am I. I'm Donald Rainwater, the Libertarian candidate for governor of the state of Indiana. I believe that all Hoosier businesses provide the necessities of life to their owners and employees, and that all Hoosiers are essential. As your governor, I will safeguard your rights to life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness as defined by you, not the government. To learn more, go to rainwaterforindiana.com. We need better government, not bigger government. My name's Donald Rainwater, and I approve this message. Paid for by Rainwater for Indiana.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
We all know having health insurance doesn't always equal health care. That's why at Freedom HealthWorks, we believe the key to maintaining good health is based on a straightforward, personal relationship with your physician. With our direct doctor-patient relationship model, we remove your healthcare middleman and replace him with transparent pricing and incentive to call your doctor at the first sign of illness. So if you're ready to experience real care from a doctor that really cares about you, go to freedomhealthworks.com and learn more about the benefits of our direct primary care model. Freedom HealthWorks. Be treated better.
Anxiety, depression, relationship problems, past trauma. Problems rarely get better when given time. Care to Change Counseling can help. Our professionals combined evidence-based care models with scripture to get you on the path to a productive life. We are here to help you make the changes you need for a healthier, happier you. Take that brave step today. Call Care to Change at 317-790-9396 or visit caretochange.org.
Our word can't be diluted, because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
All right, here we go. $100 down to $100 down to $100 back at $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freege, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freege, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freege, owner and lead auctioneer at Freege & Freege Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Welcome back. Trump did continue to pound Biden over the laptop from hell, as he called it last night, Hunter's laptop, and continuing to find out more about that, texts and all sorts of stuff that continue to trickle into the news. But listen to this exchange. Now, the moderator, she basically is trying to talk about anything but this. You'll hear that during this exchange. But Trump kind of pushes Biden into a corner, and Biden gives an explanation. Biden gives this is his explanation for Hunter's laptop. Buckle up for this. Here we go.
Let me ask some follow-up.
Excuse me.
Please respond, and then we're going to have follow-up
If this stuff is true about Russia, Ukraine, China, other countries, Iraq, if this is true, then he's a corrupt politician.
All right.
So don't give me the stuff about how you're this innocent baby. Joe, they're calling you a corrupt politician.
Hey, President Trump, I want to stay on the issue of race. We're talking about the issue.
Anything with the laptop.
President Trump, we're talking about race right now, and I do want to stay on the issue of race. President Trump,
and I
you've
have
just
to respond to that.
Please,
because look,
very
there
quickly.
are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plant. They have said that this has all the five former heads of the CIA.
Yeah, why not?
Both parties say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage. Nobody believes it except his and his good friend Rudy Giuliani.
You mean the laptop is now another Russia hoax?
That's exactly what.
Is this
that's
where you're
exactly
going?
what.
This is where he's going. The laptop is Russia,
Gentlemen,
Russia.
I want to stay on the issue of race.
You
okay?
have to be kidding. Here we
Mr.
go
President,
again with Russia.
We're going to continue on the issue of race. Mr. President.
Boy, oh boy. Here we go with the Russia. The laptop has been planted by Russian operatives. They somehow got Hunter Biden's all of his personal information. They somehow got his signature. They somehow found someone that has the general, description of Hunter Biden to take it to this shop. They knew that if they took the laptop to this repair shop, that they wouldn't go back and pay for it. So they knew that the person at the shop would actually review the contents of the laptop, and that they would find the contents of the laptop, and that they would then release the contents of the laptop. They knew that they would make a backup onto a hard drive of the laptop, because they gave the laptop to the FBI. That's who knows where that is. We've not seen that. Comey's probably giving instructions on what to do with that to the new FBI personnel, since he's not there anymore, since he got canned. Comey's probably giving instructions on how to keep that hidden or destroy it. For all we know, it's been the victim of one of Hillary Clinton's cell phone hammers, which of course is what you do, right? I mean, you look at all the electronic devices that the left has destroyed. Even going back to this, the folks that have been investigated here recently, with all of the spying and so forth on the Trump campaign, all these electronic devices that had been wiped clean, their factory settings reset the factory settings on their iPhones and so forth. The amount of electronic devices that have been that have had bleach bit applied to them, that have had cell phone or that have had hammers smashed into them, or that have just simply been reset to factory settings, it's astonishing. The media has no interest in this, and for all we know, that's what's happened to this laptop. But the Russian operatives knew. They knew that the FBI would get it and probably smash it with hammers. They knew that the owner of this shop would back it up, and he would find this information about Hunter Biden, emails that had been said to have been confirmed and their authenticity, text messages and so forth. All these things they knew that they would find, and that they knew that this would be released just in the final days of the election, so that they could get Donald Trump elected again. Why would Russia want Donald Trump elected? In what world does this even make sense? Why would they want President Donald Trump? Why? Because he's been nice and easy on them? I mean, it's preposterous what they want you to believe. Anyway, Biden says that this is Russia. That's why there's a laptop. I don't know anything about this laptop. It's not my son's laptop. It can't be my son's laptop. It's Russia's. Russian plant. Give me a break. That's what Trump says as well. And he's right. This is crazy stuff. But then again, we live in crazy, desperate times. The left is worried about this and scared, as they should be, heading into Election Day. Got to come back and wrap up. You're listening to Conservative Not Better Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter? To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
All your life, you've planned and taken care of the people you love. They always knew you had a plan. Taking care of your final wishes will give them one final gift. Buying your headstones direct through Thomas Monument saves your loved ones additional stress during a difficult time and saves money by cutting out the middleman. Call 317-244-6525 or go online to thomasmonument.com to understand why families have trusted us since 1962.
Seems like just yesterday that you couldn't find a quiet place to think in your home. Now all the kids have flown the nest and you find yourself wondering what to do with all of that extra space. This is Bruce of Bruce Richardson Realty. My team and I understand that life changes, and so do your home needs. So whether you're downsizing or upsizing, give us a call at 317-507-3285. Let us help you find the best fit for your residential or your commercial property needs. 317-507-3285.
Hi, this is Caleb with Gluff Plumbing. Does your home need some plumbing updates? Gluff Plumbing is your solution. We specialize in updating old plumbing, everything from water heaters to well pumps, to underground leaks and everything that has to do with water entering and leaving the home, including water and sewer main excavations. We pride ourselves on old-fashioned customer service. Call Gluff Plumbing at 765-721-6789 or visit gluffplumbing.com. That's GLUFF plumbing.com. Call us today.
Did you know that there are 21,000 chimney fires annually? It's one of the reasons why it's so important to have a CSIA certified chimney technician clean and inspect your chimney every year. Keep your family safe by joining our 3-year sweep and inspection plan. And mention Todd to be entered to win $1,000 in cash. Contact Smalling Masonry, a Christian-owned business, at 317-903-8121 to learn more today.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Have you seen the price of custom cabinetry and countertops lately? If you're looking for quality, affordable remodels, call Carriage House Woodworking. Our helpful professionals will walk you through every step of the process. We're offering a free sink base with qualifying purchases. Just enter CHWEINC.com/Todd or call 317-406-3042. Call Carriage House Woodworking. You won't have to spend your kids' inheritance just to upgrade your kitchen.
The compassion of Christ. It's living life connecting to the broken and messy world. It's not simply walking down the street and dropping a quarter in someone's bucket. It's been perverted by Satan from biblical compassion to feeling sorry for, and sympathy isn't where God wants us to live. It's connecting to broken people in our daily life. Living the compassion of Christ.
Welcome back. Biden also, just a couple of other things he did last night. He called for a $15 an hour minimum wage to be the law of the land, which, of course, it's interesting listening to people like Biden try to articulate and defend that. He did add, he said that increasing the minimum wage has never put a business out of business. I mean, just the ignorance and naivete of some of these things that we have to be subjected to. But lots of other leftist ideas were on display last night as well. But it was not a good performance. Is it enough? I hope so, folks. I sure hope so. Trump is in good position here with this map. We got 10 days to find out. Have a great weekend. See you Monday. SDG. Take care.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
Hi, I'm Daniel Elliott, Chairman of the Morgan County Republican Party. I'm excited that Hoosier Republicans and conservatives are eager to re-elect President Trump. But as you know, this ideological battle we're fighting runs all the way up and down the ballot. That's why I'm asking you to vote Republican from the very top of your ballot all the way down to the bottom of your ballot. Every election is important, and we must win as many of these elections as possible to ensure that we defend our liberties through constitutional limited government. We need your vote down the ballot for conservatives like Indiana Senator Rod Bray from District 37 and Morgan County Coroner Mike Ellis. If you love liberty and the Constitution, I'm asking you to join conservatives all across the Hoosier State and vote Republican all the way down the ballot. This ad is paid for by the Morgan County Republican Party.
You rely on your vehicle every day. It's not a member of the family, but you spend as much time with it as most family members. You wouldn't take your family to just any doctor, so don't trust your vehicle to just any repair service. At Raymond's Auto and Truck Repair in Plainfield, we have well-trained, caring technicians that have the expertise to get you back on the road. For 25 years, we've been servicing personal, commercial, and fleet vehicles. Give us a call at 317-838-7112 for the car service you deserve.